Welcome to Nurse's Notes by Almira, the podcast where we explore real strategies to help you take control of your health. I am Almira Hinton, a registered nurse, health coach, and hypnosis expert. I love empowering others, including healthcare professionals and beyond, break free from self sabotage and silence food noise. Let's discover how confidently to master your mind body wellness journey, creating the freedom to focus on what truly matters, enjoying life to the fullest. So let's dive into today's episodes. As many of you may or may not know, I am hosting a 1 week mind body detox. That is coming up this April 27th, and that's a Sunday. That will be the first day or the prep day of the detox. And in the detox, you're going to eliminate sugar, gluten, and dairy for the week. And you're also going to learn how to do something called 7-path self-hypnosis and meditation. But I wanted to go over some of the most frequently asked questions about this spring detox. And just remember, this detox is fit for beginners as well as experts. But this detox will really support you in making that step towards your health journey transformation. Okay, so I'm going to go over a few of the most frequently asked questions that I get about the detox. Okay, first one is, what exactly is the 1 week detox program? Okay, this detox, it's a food-based cleanse and also a mental cleanse. And it's designed to remove some of the most toxic and unhealthy foods from your diet. It focuses on eliminating caffeine, sugar, dairy, red meat, pork, gluten, and emphasizes whole foods like grains, proteins, vegetables, and nutrient-rich foods, okay? So that's all the things you can eat. And it's so very important that when you're involved in this detox, that you look at all the great foods that you can eat, the blueberries, the raspberries, the strawberries, the bananas, the grapefruit, all those fruits, and all those fresh vegetables, the spinach, the broccoli, the kale, all those fresh vegetables, the tomatoes, the celery, all those things that you can add to your food, the herbs and things like that that you'll season your foods with to make them taste so very good, as well as, drinking plenty of water, keeping yourself hydrated. And you are able to have animal-based proteins if you so wish to indulge, which most of us do, like seafood, so the shrimp and the fish, the chicken, the turkey, and lamb also, you will be able to have that as one of your protein sources, obviously including the nuts. Okay. Most frequently asked question number 2. How should I prepare for the detox? And this is huge. And I've said this before. Preparation is allowing yourself to be the most successful you can be because you're prepared. Okay. And most of that comes from going shopping, getting your kitchen ready, getting your house in order before the detox. And what I would encourage people to do is, before starting the full detox, one is read the detox handbook that I provide you so that there's no surprises and you can get to me and ask questions if you have any questions about it. And look at the suggested recipes. Clearly, you can create your own, but I do have a list of suggested recipes. Plan your meals. And again, if you have trouble planning your meals, you go, I'm not sure about eating this or that, I can also support you, and in the handbook outlines a meal plan also. Complete shopping list is included, and the scheduled time for grocery shopping as well as meal prepping, okay? Consider setting an intention for your detox week. Just like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to follow it, and I'm going to be successful, okay? Number 3, most frequently asked question, can I eat out during the detox? Absolutely, you can eat out. Now, while we encourage you to cut your schedule back, remember, no is a complete sentence. so that you can focus on your health for that week and detoxing. But if you find the need or find the opportunity that you want to eat out, you can very much do that. Now, eating at home is highly recommended, but if you need to eat out, ask for what you need. Ask for what you need at the restaurant. Check out the menu beforehand. Choose dishes that are rich in vegetables and lean protein that you can have on the detox. Avoid any of the dishes that have heavy sauces, anything fried, no white potatoes, and no white rice. So, and I also provide for you an eating out guide for more tips. But again, it's all about the planning. Look ahead at the menu and just ask for what you need, what will be most healthy for you to eat when you're out. Frequently asked question number 4. What are the key dietary focuses during the detox? The focus is on good whole grains. So that's why we eliminate white flour. Flour is a grain, but it's been so stripped. All the fat, what little bit of fat is in that grain, is stripped out, and what you're really left with is just the carbohydrate portion. The fiber part and the fat part are gone, and you're just left with a very quick acting carbohydrate that acts just like sugar as far as your body is concerned and your liver is concerned and the production of insulin. So you're going to focus on whole grains, proteins, and vegetables. So those things those are the many. I mean, that's 3, and also your fruits. You'll avoid caffeine. You're going to avoid that white sugar. You can have some pure maple syrup, as well as a date-based sugar, or real raw honey. You're going to avoid dairy. So that includes all of your milk products, your cottage cheese, and and your cheeses. You're going to avoid red meat and pork just because you're giving your digestive tract a rest also. We're not going to be eating those things that have a long processing time in the digestive tract. Now, yes, the high fiber foods do, but that's to promote satiety. But as far as your other proteins are concerned, they're going to be more easily digestible. That's why we're looking at the chicken, turkey, and the seafood. You're also going to avoid gluten, and that's just about easy to say anything that has white flour. That's your cookies, your cakes, your crackers, your pancakes, your donuts, all that kind of stuff that have white flour. And you'll see some things that'll tell you whether or not it has gluten in it. And you're going to consume foods that nourish and support your body's natural detoxing process. Frequently asked question number 5. What might I experience during the detox? Now, experiences vary from people to people. And this is a lot of left up to interpretation about how you feel, okay? But you may notice better digestion because we're eating things that we are putting through to our body that tend to go through a lot easier. You might even notice some skin clearing up, maybe some fluctuations in the energy because your body's going to be looking for that high carb, quick energy where you're going to be eating things that are broken down and the energy is then released, okay? You might even experience an emotional release, particularly when you start the meditation. Some things that have been sitting back there in your mind, in your unconscious mind, in your soul may come out when you start to do the meditation practice. You might notice some mood swings. You might even notice some food cravings, changes in your appetite. You might feel more hungry because your body's been starved so long for some good nutritious foods. You might notice a bit change in your appetite, and who knows, maybe your appetite will decrease because you're giving your body the nutritious foods that it needs. And you'll definitely see some insights into your eating habits. You might, see some things like, man, I sure do, eat a lot of this processed food that I didn't notice that I was doing before. Okay, number 6, how much water should I drink? I would say you aim to drink about half your body weight in ounces of water, but that can fluctuate. If you're somebody that's a highly active person and you perspire a lot, things like that, you might need more water than that. Gauge it by your thirst, and of course, and your urinary output. If you're putting out dark urine, obviously, you may not be drinking enough water because that can easily be the first sign of not being properly hydrated. Your urine should actually be very light in color when you're properly hydrated. Now, some foods can change the color of your urine, like especially like beets and things like that. But on the regular, it should just be nice and clear. You can flavor your water with lemon, with slices of lemon. You could put slices of orange in your water. You could even use cucumber. I use a lot of cucumber and mint because I love that taste. It's very, very satisfying. Or you could do them all and make yourself a nice, really flavorful mixture of water by putting in some frozen fruits and some water, some cucumber, some herbs, and pouring that into your water, your glass water bottle every day or into your drinking glass. You might notice that that's quite satisfying. Are there any specific guidelines for meals or snacks? Now, this is frequently asked question number 7. Okay, be mindful of your protein sizes and food choices. Okay, eat enough to feel satisfied and include, essential fats in your food. So don't eat something that's all one thing or another, like all veggies or all fruit, because your body needs that fat. It helps you to stay satisfied. Pre-cut vegetables and have healthy snacks ready to avoid straying from your meal plan. If you're looking for thinking that you might feel like you want a snack, get those cut up carrots, get that, cut up some celery, some things like that, because we like that crunch and that chewiness can very easily satisfy the need to snack. Okay. Frequently asked question number 8, is exercise recommended during the 1-week detox? Absolutely. Movement is essential to life. But, you don't have to force yourself. There isn't any huge requirement for, get up and run 2 or 3 miles. Listen to your body, how it feels. I would also always think, that movement is energy. The more you move, the better you should feel. You might start out walking and feel, a little stiff or something like that, is particularly if you haven't been used to walking. Sometimes your body has to get used to that movement, but moving those joints and things like that, that is good lubrication. Movement is key for a healthy body. Gentle exercises, physical activities like yoga, walking, are encouraged daily and are just very, very highly recommended. Walk around in your yard, during, either, mowing your lawn or weeding or something like that. Exercise helps activate your lymphatic system, so it'll squeeze those lymphs to get, excess fluid out and just to move everything around. It'll essentially aid in the detoxification process. Okay. Frequently asked question number 9. We're coming into the last two here. What should I avoid and what are the alternatives? Okay, we're avoiding gluten, dairy, sugar, red meat, pork, and certain types of potatoes and corn. White potatoes and corn, particularly, they're just full of starches. Okay, alternatives would be things like brown rice. There's also brown basmati rice. You can have wild rice as an alternative for some of your glutens. Quinoa, that's spelled Q-U-I-O-N-A, and it's pronounced quinoa. You should have seen it out there. Sweet potatoes, yams are definitely the alternatives if you haven't been eating them to put them into your diet. I challenge you to find new vegetables that you haven't tried before in your diet, like spaghetti squash. I love spaghetti squash. We cut it in half and I start cooking it, and then I take all the seeds out. But I love spaghetti squash. If you've not tried something like that before, try it. Add a new vegetable into your diet and, look up a recipe for it. But, reach out to me. I'm happy to help you with that. So sweet potatoes, yams, lean proteins, obviously, are your alternative if you're used to eating other things of beef and pork. So lean proteins like chicken, turkey, also various nut milks. If you're somebody that has milk, look at the opportunity for exploring something like cashew milk, almond milk, some other type of nut milks. Now, typically, a lot of people use milk to use in cereals, and we're not eating those types of cereals because they're so full of carbohydrates. So you may not even find a use for even nut milk. So sometimes you'll want to have them around just in case you're making some recipe that requires milk. You can use any of the nut milks, usually as a substitute. Okay. Last frequent lab question I've got, number 10. Any advice on managing caffeine withdrawal? Okay. I would say just gradually reduce the caffeine intake even before you start the detox, like on that Thursday or Friday before, to minimize those withdrawal symptoms. So if you're used to having 2, 3, 4 cups of coffee, look and see if you can cut it back, the Friday before you start the detox to maybe just 2, and then maybe that Saturday and Sunday, you're doing just 1. So that then maybe on Monday you would be able to eliminate or maybe cut that down to just half a cup during the detox, okay? Replace the coffee with a herbal tea or a green tea because those are very good for you and very flavorful. A gradual weaning plan is also provided in the handbook, and you can also reach out to me. I'm happy to support you with that. Remember to listen to your body throughout this process and consult with your healthcare professional if you have some concerns, particularly with your medications. Before starting any new type of diet or detox program, that's very much advised. And especially if you have some existing health conditions or some medications that you are concerned about consuming while you're on the detox, okay? So I just wanted to reach out quickly to answer some of these most frequently asked questions that I get about the detox, okay? Because a lot of this stuff is in the handbook. But if you're just wondering, I thought I'd make a quick podcast episode to perhaps explain some of those things to you about the 1 week detox, okay? So that's it for today's episode of Nurse's Notes by Almira. If you're ready to experience weight loss hypnosis that actually works, I'd love to help. My approach is different. It's not about reading scripts. It's about getting to the real issue and making change happen at the some subconscious level. Okay. If you want to learn more, obviously reach out to me, DM me, or go to my website, www.thernhealthcoach.com, to explore things there and to get more information about me. You can also go to my YouTube channel, Nurse's Notes by Elmira, or listen to other podcast episodes. If you have questions, just reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Also, below this, there may be a place where you can ask a question in the comment section. And like I say, I'd love to hear from you. Again, if this episode resonated with you, please like and share. That really helps me out a lot. Share it with a friend who's someone you might think might benefit from hearing this episode. And again, don't forget to subscribe, particularly on YouTube or any of your Apple Podcast, iHeart. I'm there too. That really helps me a lot if you like and subscribe. I appreciate that a lot. Until next time, take care, stay empowered, and remember, real change happens from the inside out. And I hope to see you on the detox. Take care. Bye-bye.